Have you ever used an AI chatbot and thought, this is pretty cool, but what if it could actually do stuff for me? Well, if that's you, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to move way beyond just simple conversations. We're diving into the world of AI agents, a digital workforce you can actually build, train, and deploy. Let's get into it. So here's the thing. We have access to these incredibly powerful AI models, right? But there's this huge gap between just asking a simple question and getting a really complex project done. So how do you get an AI to actually manage tasks, use tools, and make decisions all on its own without you having to micromanage every single little step? The answer is a total mindset shift. You have to stop seeing AI as just a simple tool and start seeing it as a team member. The key isn't about writing a command anymore. It's about writing a job description. And just like any team you'd hire, not every AI agent is going to have the same level of independence. And the best part? You are in complete control of that entire spectrum of autonomy. This idea is called agent autonomy. It's the agent's ability to operate independently. But here's what's so crucial to understand. It is not an on-off switch. Think of it more like a dial that you can turn up or down depending on the task, the risks involved, and just how much oversight you feel you need. This framework, right here, it maps that whole autonomy spectrum to roles we already understand. So at level 1, you're the operator. You're giving it direct commands. But as you dial up that autonomy, you become a collaborator, then maybe an approver, until you get all the way to level 5, where you're pretty much just an observer, watching the agent work totally independently. You get to decide, are you hiring an intern today, or are you hiring a CEO? And how do you set these levels? It all happens in the system prompt. For, say, a level 2 collaborator, you might just say, propose a plan and wait for my approval. But for a more autonomous level 4 agent, you'd set a really firm rule, something like you must get user approval before publishing any financial data. That prompt, that is your control knob. Okay, so if the prompt is our control knob, then crafting that prompt is really like writing the perfect job description. It's how you make absolutely sure your new digital employee knows exactly what to do. And look, a great job description, a great prompt, it's not just a big wall of text, it's structured. To engineer agents that are actually reliable and predictable, we build our prompts on these 4 pillars. Get these 4 things right, and trust me, you are well on your way to building a truly effective AI agent. Pillar number 1, role and goal. This is all about giving the agent its identity and its purpose. You're literally defining who it is. For example, you are a senior financial analyst. Your tone is professional, and your goal is to provide data-driven insights. See? Clear as day. Then we have pillar 2, instructions and constraints. This is the rulebook. This is where you define the step-by-step process for its work, and, just as important, you set up the guardrails, the crucial boundaries. This is where you tell it what not to do, like, do not, under any circumstances, provide financial advice. Pillar 3 equips the agent with its tools. You have to list out every single tool it's allowed to use, maybe web search, a database query, an API call, and you have to explain when and how to use each one. Think of this as the agent's utility belt. And finally, Pillar 4 defines the output format. Because let's be honest, brilliant work is totally useless if it's delivered as a complete mess, right? So here, you specify the exact structure you need, whether that's clean JSON for another system to read, or a perfectly formatted Markdown report for a human. Okay, so you've hired and trained your first digital employee. Awesome. But what about those really, really complex projects? For those, you don't just need an employee, you need a whole team. And that, my friends, is where orchestration comes in. Orchestration is basically the art of coordinating a team of specialized agents all working together to achieve one common goal. So instead of having one single agent try to do everything, you get to conduct a digital symphony, with each agent playing its part as an expert musician. And the advantages of doing this are huge. Specialist agents are just better at their specific jobs, and they're way easier to debug when something goes wrong. This approach also lets you get smart about optimizing for cost and speed because you can use the right AI model for the right task. You don't need the most powerful, expensive model for everything. All right, let's look at the first orchestration pattern. It's called sequential, and it works pretty much exactly like a factory assembly line. For instance, imagine generating a legal contract. One agent could select the right template. The next one down the line customizes the specific clauses. A third agent checks everything for regulatory compliance, and a final one assesses the risk. The output of one agent becomes the input for the next. It's a clean, linear process. Next up is the concurrent pattern. This is for when you need a bunch of different perspectives all at once. Think of it like a digital brainstorming session. Say you're doing an investment analysis. You could have 3 different agents all working in parallel. One is crunching the financial data, another is scanning the news for market sentiment, and a third is checking for any compliance red flags. Then, all of their reports get combined into a single, comprehensive brief. And finally, we have the most dynamic pattern of all, hierarchical. This isn't just a line or a group. This is a true project team with a manager, agent delegating tasks to its subordinates. A software bug fix is the perfect example. A manager agent assigns the bug. Then a developer agent writes the code to fix it. A testing agent runs tests on that new code. Now, if a test fails, it doesn't just stop. It loops back to the developer with feedback. And this continues back and forth until the problem is actually solved. All right, let's tie all of this together with a quick case study, creating a big market research report on electric vehicles. This is a complex task, absolutely perfect for a hierarchical team led by a chief research officer agent who then manages a whole team of specialists. Now notice this. The manager doesn't just vaguely say, get some data. It gives a very specific, tool-driven command, just like this, to its data analyst. The specialist agent knows exactly what to do and which tools it needs to use to create those charts. This is how complex work actually gets done autonomously. So, there you have it. We've gone from a single command to a single, well-defined agent. And we've gone from a single agent to an entire orchestrated team. We've really moved from just giving instructions to conducting a symphony. The framework is here. The blueprint exists. The only question left is, what problem are you going to solve first?